Hey, how you doing? How's everybody doing? Happy new moon to everyone. Um, we are going to do us a nice little new moon reading. It is the new moon in Virgo. Um, I did not have time to throw a little makeup on, so my skin looks like it looks, like my face looks. And I'm fine with that. So, I say if it's distracting you and you can't enjoy just, watching me be me, then you might need to watch somebody else. Um, so yeah, it's new moon in Virgo, and I wanted to kind of talk about that. But before we start doing anything, I want to kind of set the mood. Don't you think we need to do that? I think so. So we're going to start. I am lighting my prayer candle. Kind of give us a little ambiance. And this prayer candle actually is not the greatest. I forgot where I got this. I just picked it up because I knew I needed one. And when I picked it up, I thought that it would be okay. It's okay, like I said, but it's not as, the wick is kind of weird. I guess that's the thing. So I'm going to go back and go buy the ones that I typically buy, which will assure me that it will be a good candle. And I'm also going to light my incense. Let's stick that there so I don't have to strike another match. Here we go. And this is sandalwood, which I love so much. Sandalwood is very grounding. So now I got my incense, I got my candle, I got you all. That's all I need, right? So let's jump on in here and talk about the new moon in Virgo. So the new moon in Virgo, got a rogue lock there. The new moon in Virgo. So this is actually a super new moon. So it's not just a regular new moon, it's a super new moon, okay? I love when it's like the super moons, like super new moon, super full moon, all that. I love that. So this one is all about pretty much grounding. Yeah, a lot of aspects of it are grounding. The Virgo, from my understanding, energy of this new moon is basically here to get stuff cleaned up, to get things together for you. So there's a lot of energy to kind of clear things up. So let me just start here. New moon typically is about receiving and receptivity is what the new moon usually is about. And then full moon is more about releasing. But it's not always the case for all full moons and new moons. Sometimes the new moon can be about both releasing and receiving. This particular new moon, from what I'm gathering, it's kind of both, right? So in this new moon in Virgo, you're being called to clear some things out, to like clear out clutter, to, establish some healthy routines in your life, to start with a clean slate and start clearing the air on some things, and go through, dust some cobwebs that you've been neglecting in your house. Do a little patchwork, basically a little tidying, getting things together, get things organized, so everything kind of falls correctly, because fall equinox is coming. And with the fall equinox calls for what? Harvest time. So this new moon, in my opinion, is preparing you for harvest time. So, I mean, where are you going to put your harvest if you got all the clutter around you, right? You ain't got nowhere to put your harvest. So that's what this new moon is calling us to do. A little more, less is more. Yeah. Less is more, and getting us to go back to some simpler things and simpler times for ourselves, and not having so many things around us. Like, I was talking to one of my friends, I think it was last night, and because she and I have our own little study time. Hi, Giovanna. Your ears must have been on fire, girl. I was just talking about you. So we were talking about how we're starting to get into this spirit of less is more. And I really feel like this new moon in Virgo is really calling for a lot of us to adapt that way of life, of the less is more. Just kind of organize and clean things up, clear things out, get things together. Because like I said, with fall equinox coming, that's the harvest. It's opening you up to harvest time. So how can you reap the harvest? How will you have room for your harvest if you've got all this crap all around your house and all up in your inbox and all up in your email and all up in, your purse, your pocketbook? Ladies, clean out your pocketbook. I did that right before I got on here. I threw away some of them receipts that I don't need. I threw out some of those pieces of paper. It was basically old grocery list that I don't need. So, yeah. Hi, Brianna. Hi, Mignon. So, let's see. Giovanna says, oh, yes, clearing out the old and making space for the new. And then Brianna says, yes, feel like I'm doing major clearing. Yes, and I don't want as much stuff. Right. So that's what I really feel, that this new moon in Virgo is really challenging us to get with the program of the less is more. Because again, if you got all this clutter, if you got all these things around you, you can't really, like, for me, I'll speak for myself. When I know I need to get in like really heavy meditation, go within to start getting a little guidance and everything else, I want my area, my house to be cleaned up. I don't like clutter around like my altar and all that kind of stuff. It kind of makes me and I don't feel like I can properly concentrate to receive the messages that I'm supposed to receive. So yeah, new moon in Virgo is saying, let's clean it up, let's pick up, let's take, care of business, put things in perspective, go back to a simpler life, where you didn't need as much stuff, because I don't know where or why we get to a point in life where we just start hoarding. I don't know about y'all, but it's like, I know when I moved, I was like, where all this stuff come from? Where I get all this stuff from? And why do I still have it? So yeah, I had to do a little cleaning, had to do a little, throwing stuff out and really understanding that I don't need all this. I don't need, all this extra fluff, all this extra stuff that really isn't serving me. And honestly, a lot of the stuff that I got rid of are things that just don't align with me anymore. Don't align with who I am anymore. It's like the old me had that for whatever reason, and she most likely had it because she attached some kind of emotion to it, saying that this is going to make me happy, this is going to make me complete, this is going to make me want to live better, be better, or anything like that. So I had some kind of like thing with a lot of the clutter that I had and the things that I had accumulated over the years. And it was more of, okay, you have that because you know, want to be loved, or you wanted to make money and you thought that was going to make you money, or you wanted, you know, this, that, or some kind of validation, or, you know, you were in a crappy mood, so you went and you spent money that you really didn't have, but, you know, that little shopping trip just kind of made you feel good for just like that millisecond until your credit card bill came. Yeah, that was me. That was me. But yeah, so that's what we're doing. That's what it feels like with this new moon in Virgo, because I've been going through and clearing stuff out. And anybody that's been following me for a long time, y'all know I am a clean out email vigilante. I will go through my email and I will unsubscribe, and I'll be like, what the hell? When did I subscribe to this? Why am I getting all this stuff? Where is this coming from? And I'm on lists and I'm like, did I really sign up for this, or did somebody attach something to me where I'm now on everybody's list? Because like when I was a realtor, I was on everybody's list, and everybody is still sending me all this stuff, and I'm like, I'm no longer an agent. I'm not active, so please stop sending me stuff. I have unsubscribed. I have cussed people out because they just keep sending it to me. I've done all that. And so I will go through my email and I will block, I will unsubscribe, I will do whatever I need to do to get that digital clutter cleaned up. And greetings, Goddess Cornisha. She says, Virgo, yes, get rid of the old mess. Yes, that's what we're doing. That is exactly what we're doing. And she said, it's easy to become a collector unconsciously. Girl, yes, it is. It's so easy. And a lot of times we're not doing it on purpose. You know, most of the time we're not doing it on purpose. But it is just, you know, a matter of, like I said, when we're purchasing things or doing things out of emotion. I gotta switch positions here. Doing things out of emotions, or we think at the time that that's what we really need or whatever. And Brianna says, I need to unsubscribe from a bunch of stuff too. Girl, get to it. That's your homework tonight. Get to it. And Giovanna says, reclaiming that energetic space. Yes. Yes. Reclaiming my space. Can we just say that this new moon is causing me to go back and reclaim my space? Yes. Reclaiming my space, which makes me reclaim my peace, which lets me reclaim my sense of self, my sense of balance, my harmony within myself. So that is what we are doing with this new moon. Hi, Goddess Janice. We are really, really doing that in this new moon. And I'm grateful for this energy because, like I said, I've been like on a mission. It started yesterday and I got some of it today. And I have no doubt that it'll be continuing through, you know, the weekend, because, you know, just because today marks new moon doesn't mean the new moon energy is gone after today. No, it's a cycle. It's a cycle. So that cycle, which we're going to do the reading for, is letting us know that in this cycle, this is what we need to do. So we're going to get into that new moon reading. And yes, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. So, I went to virtually, God, I forgot what it's called, but it's with one of my favorite, card creators, Colette Baron Reed. She's got a, 3-day, Oracle card event. And I went to last night's, the first night, and this is the deck of cards that she uses to teach with. And I got these cards a while ago, and I fell in love with them. But I haven't played with them in a while. So I was like, you know what? She's making me want to play with my Wisdom of the Oracle card. So that's what we're going to use tonight. So yeah. So let's get ourselves grounded. And let's get ourselves prepared to do this new moon reading. So here's how this works. We're going to pull 6 cards. Within that 6 cards, we're going to first ask, what is this cycle opening up for me? That's number 1. Second card is, what wants to emerge? What wants to grow? What needs to be tended to in this cycle? Number 3, we want to know what blocks are around this. So if we know what's opening up and we know what's trying to emerge or what we need to put a little more attention to, what are the blocks that's going to keep us from doing that so we can go ahead and get them blocks up out of there? And then the 4th card, we want to know, well, why is this block here? What is the significance of it? What is the reason behind this block? Sometimes, and sure, I can give you a reading and I can tell you what your blocks are. But if you don't get to the root as to where that block is coming from, it's kind of hard to get rid of it, you know? So you want to get to the meat and potatoes, if you will, of that block so that you can go in, assess it, and figure out where it's coming from so that way you can unblock that block. Number 5, you want the advice for healing this block. And number 6, you want the advice for working with these energies to come back to yourself. So I always say for that one is, what do I need to know so that I can feel at home in my body? So I can release those blocks and feel at home in my body and know that I feel at home during this cycle where I'm supposed to be concentrating on this thing. Make sense? Okay. So yeah, man. I used to be really more or less attached to full moon. But now I'm finding myself that new moon is starting to be the one that I feel more. And I think it's more of cycles for me. Sometimes I'm more into the new moon and sometimes more into full moon. It's a cycle. So everybody get centered. Point your intentions this way towards the cards. And everybody, let's just take a deep breath in. And exhale out. And this is for, of course, our highest good. And the good of all those involved. I like to smell my cards. It's my thing. Some people blow on their cards. Some people tap them. Me, I like to smell my cards. I don't know why. Don't know where that came from or why. But I just do. I like to smell my cards. Especially when they're brand new. Oh my God. I will just sit and just be like, oh, I love to smell my cards. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. You do stuff that's weird too. So, what cycle is opening up for us? What do we need to know right about now? What cycle is up for us? No. Dropping. So, a cycle of serendipity. Serendipity. I try to hold these where the glare is not like killer, because what I don't like about some of these cards is how shiny they can be, which kind of, blocks the mood. So this is an opportunity aligned with readiness and awareness of synchronicity. So with this, the cycle that's opening up is, it says serendipity, but what I'm getting from this is synchronicity, meaning things are going to start coming together and start working together for your good. Giovanna says, I smell them when I first get them. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Girl, no, you are not alone, like Michael Jackson says. Cornisha, don't laugh, girl. You know you do some weird stuff too. So serendipity, synchronicity, things are lining up. So I would say happy alignment. That's the way I look at it. So that's what's opening up. So that's something to get excited about, right? Who doesn't want to be aligned? Who doesn't want everything to sync up that you've been working on and working towards, right? So what wants to emerge, grow, or be tended to this cycle? Oh, protection, co-create. So I'm taking this as an emerging. So if you're going to be in sync, and I'll turn it the right way so you can see the card, but it is in protection. So those usually mean that you need to pay extra attention to that. So let's map this out. So if we have a cycle that's opening up of serendipitous synchronicity and alignment and allyship and harmony. So with that, there's going to be some co-creation, meaning there's going to be some collaboration. And that collaboration can be between you and another person. It could be between you and the creator, right? You and your ancestors, you and your guides. But open yourself up to know that what's emerging from all of this is the beautiful, wonderful co-creation. We are co-creators. We were created to create. So, of course, co-creation should be something that we should always be excited about. So, what's some blocks? Well, we're going to just do one block. What block is going to try to hinder us from walking into this serendipitous co-creation that is in store for us in this new moon? And I see Rosalind. So what's the block? What's the block? It's another in protection. Yang. That fieriness. That fieriness of the yang energy. Let me go to the book because that yang ain't no thing. But we need to get past that yang energy. So, of course, yang is the masculine energy, which, this is a good thing here. So, as you all may or may not know, next week starts the new episodes of the Sacred Pathway to Liberated Black Womanhood podcast. Yay! So that is happening, and it is going to go through December. I've got some great episodes lined up. One of the episodes that I have lined up is with my beautiful sister, Mignon Grayson, and Mignon and I sit and have a beautiful conversation about the divine feminine. And I'm just going to tell you, one of the topics that came up is talking about how we as women, especially Black women, need to dial back that divine masculine energy that many of us are starting to embody. So the block that a lot of us have is we're putting off, or we have too much masculine energy, and we need to dial that back because we have to find that delicate balance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And what many of us have been taught is we have to be more masculine. We have to be more aggressive to get what we want. And we have to be pushy. And we have to be, you know, these go-getters of get it done and get it done now. And, you know, high five and all that masculine energy. When there's absolutely nothing wrong with us diving into and reveling in our divine feminine energy, which is also an energy where we can still get things done, but we get them done in a way that's more in aligned with who we are as women. Because women so when you think about the 7 chakras, so the root chakra is where men or males sexual organ. I'm trying to think of how to explain this. So their sexuality comes from their root chakra, whereas for women, ours comes from our sacral chakra. And the sacral chakra is all about emotions, balance of emotions. It's all about sensuality, sexuality, creativity. It's your sacred womb space. And that's absolutely nothing to be ashamed of or afraid of. So tap into your feminine energy. That yang energy is what's blocking a lot of us from getting what we want. Janice says, my fry, I hope that says a friend, and I talk about that all the time. Yeah, all the time. We as women, we gotta come back to the feminine and understand that it's okay for us to be who we are. We don't have to compete with men. That's not what we're here to do. We don't compete because we are who we are. We are the divine feminine. We are goddesses. And we need to understand and recognize that within ourselves and stop looking for other people to recognize that. As long as you know you a goddess, don't worry about it. Okay, I'm going to get off my high horse before I start preaching. So why is this block here? Or what's the shadow underneath it? What do we really, which I kind of think I talked about that, but we'll see what comes up. So why is this block here? Tick tock. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. And I think that's actually really good that came up. That is saying that this is why this block is here. Why? Because many of us are in a hurry. And I think with this cycle opening up with that serendipity that is allowing us to co-create, that's telling us we have a block of too much masculine. I know what you meant, Janice. She said, sorry, I meant friends. But too much masculine energy, the oversaturation of masculine that we are having within us. So with TikTok, it's more of we're in a hurry. So if we tap into that masculine energy, the masculine energy, hi Lois, is very driven. So the masculine energy is like pumping us up, get things done. You can do this, push past the pain, no gain. You have to do this because everybody's watching you. You're in charge. You have to do this, so on and so forth. And it's all about time. Whereas in feminine energy, we recognize the fact that good things take time. Why do we know this? Look how long it takes to give birth to a baby. We carry that baby for 9 months. And it doesn't matter whether you've been physically pregnant or not. As a woman, we have cycles. Yes. So what comes through our cycles? And these all are things that take time. So everything about a woman is more of kind of like a meal that's in the slow cooker. Those are the ones that taste like real good, right? Because it's the time that is taken for all the seasonings and the tastes and the juiciness to all come together and make this really divine, delicious meal. It's the same thing with feminine energy. Everything about us is take time. Just get that stuff, just get it all together and make it taste good, make it smell good, make it feel good, make it look good. You know, we take a long time to get ready, right? And men always get mad at us for that. Like, why you take so long? But when we come out of the bathroom, we're like, huh, not so mad that I took long now, are you? So we got to learn how to take our time. So what's the advice that the universe has to heal this block? And hopefully this message is helping somebody. Let me know in the comments. I would appreciate it. And don't worry, I'm going to recap it. Am I talking to anybody here today? So the advice for healing these blocks. I think I have, I don't know, poised. What number card is that? 48. Poised. So, basically, get ready, be ready, stay ready. So, the meaning of this is being ready, bringing something to light, being at your best and confidence. So, instead of reveling in all that masculine energy, blocking your ability to co-create and have that serendipitous synchronicity that we are inviting from this cycle, this new moon cycle. Instead of being in a hurry, get yourself to a place where you understand that I am that who I am. And I am confident in who I am. I am confident in my divine feminine energy because I know in my divine feminine energy, I have the ability to co-create the life that I've always wanted to have. I don't have to worry about competing with anybody because my life is mine, right? My life is mine. The harvest that's coming in the fall equinox for you, that's yours. It's got your name on it. It's got your name on it. So you don't have to compete with anybody for that. That's yours. Cornisha says, I have a coworker who's having a very difficult time in our work environment, realizing now that a lot of women are there in their masculine energy at work. Yes, my coworker is in her feminine energy. Wow. And that's probably why she is having a hard time, because everybody else, all the women in there are competing. They're all getting oversaturated with all that yang energy and not finding a delicate balance between the two. So that's a very good point to bring up, Cornisha, because that's what we need. We have to find that delicate balance. Excuse me. So that's why the healing comes from you being poised, for you understanding that you don't have to compete with anybody. You don't have to compete with anybody. You don't have to rush. You don't have to, over masculinize, if that's a word, yourself to be worthy and deserving of the beauty that's going to come from this moon cycle or anything in life. So what do we need to do to come back to ourselves, to feel at home in our bodies, to be able to truly embody this divine energy that's going on in this moon cycle? What do we need to do right now? I've gotten a little better with my shuffling. Not that much, but So to come home to yourself, to be at home within yourself during this serendipitous time of synchronicity where you, my love, are going to co-create your vision, your dreams, and it's all going to come together as long as you toss out some of that overdrive of masculine energy. Realize that you don't have to be in a hurry. You don't have to be in a hurry. You don't have to compete with anyone. But this only comes when you have a deeper knowing. A deep knowing of who you are and whose you are. A deep knowing of that I am fearfully and wonderfully made. That I am a child of the Most High God, and abundance of bliss, of pleasure, of love, of money, of my wildest dreams is my birthright. And there's nobody that can block my blessings but me. And we've got to have that deeper knowing, that deeper understanding of who we are and whose we are. We don't have to question our worthiness because we are worthy. We are worthy. We always tend to lean to the negative and say, well, because I messed this up in the past, it might not work for me because, you know, I've done this, I've done that, I've lived this way, I've lived that way. And, you know, that's where a lot of the conditioning of shame and blame that we have grown up with, and unfortunately, a lot of that comes from our religious backgrounds that we're raised with. There's a lot of blame. There's a lot of shame that comes with that. But you don't have to let that be you. You don't have to let that be your story. What you do is you take those things, you take those moments of time, that moment of life where maybe things didn't work out the way you wanted it, where something bad happened, or you might have done something bad in your mind, or, you know, you messed something up royally like I've done dozens of times. But even when it's bad, it's good. Because all things work together for our good. All things work together for our good. This is why you have synchronicity, that serendipitous synchronicity, because it all works together for your good. Have you ever had those moments where you speak with people and all of a sudden they're feeling the same thing you're feeling and you're doing, and everything starts coming together? Or somebody will mention something and you'll be like, hot damn, I was just thinking about that. Yes, that's synchronicity. It all works together for your good. Even when it's bad, it's good. I've learned to take on that in saying that, you know, I can't keep beating myself up for my past. I can't keep, you know, getting upset at the fact that, you know, I was in this relationship and it didn't work, and that relationship didn't work. This friendship is over. You know, I stayed at that job too long and it really was not aligned with who I am. I can't keep doing that, because then that makes me start going back to I'm not worthy of this. And when you start narrowing things down like that and chipping away at who you are, you don't leave a lot of room for you to receive blessings, because you shrunk yourself down so low that the blessings are like, I want to come to you, but you got to come up higher. You got to vibrate higher. You got to know that you know that you know that you know who you are and whose you are. Cornisha said, it's all a lesson. Yes, it is. She says, blessing dressed up in sandpaper. Yes, it sands, sand it. Yes. She said, I said the same thing today. It's all temporary. It is. It is. It's all temporary. And you know what? Some of these things that we have in our minds of how things are not coming together, or it seems like nothing is ever going to happen that's good, or when is my time coming? Why is everybody else being blessed? Why is everybody else getting this and getting that? People getting married, having babies, getting new jobs, new cars, new houses. Why am I still stuck, seemingly, in my life? What's wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. It's going to be you to have that deeper knowing, to get out of your own head, that will open things up for you all the more. So, thank you all for joining me. I have certainly enjoyed this new moon message. Yes. So, did everybody enjoy it? Did you get something from it? Let me know. Tell me in the comments what you got. How you feeling? It's on the way. Yes, it is, Cornisha. It is on the way. And thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you watching today. It is on the way. It is. It's on the way. It's on the way. And, you know, if we would just slow down and stop trying to make it happen. That's another thing. Stop trying to make it happen. It's not gonna work that way. You got time. Stop looking at the clock. You have time. Every moment that you have breath in your lungs, you have time. As long as you are breathing, as long as you are moving, as long as you are living, you have time. You can do it. You have it. It's going to come together in divine timing anyway, so stop trying to rush it. Stop trying to rush it. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey. Because the journey is where the blessings really are. Matter of fact, that's going to be a lesson that I'm going to teach. The blessings are in the journey. It's not the end result. The blessing is not the end result. The blessing's in the journey. So, thank you all so very much for joining me. Janice says yes, and thank you so much for the message. You are welcome, sis. Giovanna says, I'm happy I was able to catch you. I'm happy that you were able to catch me too, goddess. Everyone have a wonderful, beautiful new moon cycle. Not just today, but the entire cycle. I want you to go back and I want you to reflect on this message. I want you to think about this message. It's going to be on my podcast as a bonus, and you can come back here on my Facebook page. Just come back to this message and just remember, when you start falling off track and you start thinking, you know, all those thoughts and trying to go back in reverse, stop, come back, and think about this message. All right. Thank you all again. I love you all so much, and I will talk to you again soon. Okay. Bye for now.